Hey everyone, this is David Brown with the migration update for May 19th, 2022 from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. Well, last night as I was coming out of Wegmans, I saw my first common nighthawk of the year, and the red sky was really beautiful, so I took this photo. This morning was really rainy and foggy. I got to the park around 9 a.m. and they were cutting the grass and the weather was terrible for raptors, so I went for a little walk, and actually I walked all the way over to the marina and all the way out to the tip of the East Spit. And this photo was taken out over the lake from the East Spit. After my walk, I actually ended up leaving for a few hours, and I got back to the park around noon when the rain had stopped, but it was still super gloomy and no raptors other than a few local bald eagles moving around. But finally, around 2 p.m., the sun started to come out a little bit, and the winds were fairly strong from the west, and that got a little bit of a raptor flight going. But then eventually the wind shifted more northerly and the sky cleared. By the end of the day, there were hardly any clouds and it was really beautiful. But overall, only 2 hours of migration and not a huge number of birds. Here we have a juvenile broad-winged hawk, and the next few days should probably be the peak of the juvenile broad-winged hawk migration, which I'll talk about when I cover the forecast for the next few days. But I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot of juvenile broadwings over the next 3 days. Here's another juvenile broadwing. Remember, broadwings are in the Buteo genus, along with things like red tails and red shoulders. Broadwings are small and compact, so they do tighter circles. They tend to migrate in groups. Their wingtips are only made up of 4 feathers, 1, 2, 3, 4, which give them a little bit more of a pointed look, not as rounded as the other Buteos that we see. And this is a juvenile, so the trailing edge of the wing is not dark, and it doesn't have that distinctive tail that looks dark with a broad white stripe. It's more of a brownish tail with thin stripes. Here we have a juvenile northern harrier that migrated over. Here's a turkey vulture, and we had some small groups of turkey vultures migrating. There was one group of maybe 13 or so that came through together, but overall not huge totals, but over the next few days on the favorable southerly winds, we could still get pretty big numbers of turkey vultures, even up to 1,000 in a day or more. Here we have an adult broad-winged hawk. So again, the same shape as the juvenile we just took a look at with the pointed wingtips because of 4 feathers making up the wingtip. And we can see it's an adult, so it has this horizontal barring on the breast, a dark trailing edge to the wing, and also this really distinctive tail pattern with the single broad white stripe visible from a distance. Much different, well, not much different, but different than the adult red-shouldered hawks we were seeing back in March, where it's more of thin lines on a chalkboard. Here we have a very fresh juvenile bald eagle. Sometimes we call them southern juveniles because these are birds that were born to the south of us over the winter and are migrating north for the first time. Here we have one of the local ospreys carrying a fish. Here we have a bald eagle, and if I'm reading this one right, I believe this is a juvenile that was born last summer. You can see that most of the trailing edge of the wing is all the same length. We do see that it's starting to replace some of these inner primary feathers, and we see it has a dark head, typical of juveniles, but we see that the belly feathers have really started to be replaced. It's getting that white belly appearance that's common on the 2nd and 3rd year birds. And here we have another juvenile broad-winged hawk in a glide posture. And here's a photo of a barn swallow posing nicely, very similar to a photo that I took yesterday as well. But whenever they're posing like this in good light, you just have to take the photo. And if we take a look at eBird, today I had 43 species, and this was the checklist from when I got back to the park around noon. I never did a checklist for my morning walk. And if we take a look at HawkCount for our migrant raptor totals, today we had 29 turkey vultures, 4 bald eagles, 1 northern harrier, and 44 broad-winged hawks, for a total of 78 migrants today. All right, let's talk about the forecast, because I think we may have some pretty spectacular days coming up. So for tomorrow, they changed the forecast a little bit. Now they're saying overcast with rain showers at times. So it seems like they took out most of the sun, although if you look at the hourly, there are some hours in the early morning where it shows a little bit of sun and maybe some in the afternoon. So it's really hard sometimes to look at these weather forecasts and get an idea of how gloomy it's going to be versus Will it be a bright overcast? Will there be a little bit of sunshine coming through? The high, now they're saying, is 79 degrees. So from the morning up into the afternoon, the temperature is going up something like 20 degrees. It's a pretty steep increase, just really warming up. One of the warmer days we've had. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So the winds are good. That's like a perfect wind direction and speed. Although I think in the very early morning, it's starting out more south-southeast, then shifting to more south, and then eventually southwest in the afternoon. I don't think that'll make a huge difference. It'll be south most of the morning. That should be good enough. Although maybe when it shifts southwest, that'll be a little better for us. But in any case, I'm not worried about the winds. What I'm worried about is how much rain are we going to get and how gloomy is it going to be. But even if it is fairly gloomy, I think with these favorable winds, there might still be decent migration happening. And with overcast skies and gloomy conditions, if there's birds flying, they could be coming through pretty low. So it could be pretty awesome. Let's see what else I said. This time of year, again, the main species that we're targeting are broad-winged hawks, bald eagles, and turkey vultures. A lot of our other expected species are kind of winding down by now, but we should be right at the peak of the juvenile broad-winged hawk migration. Another species to keep an eye out for is Mississippi kite. There's been some reported down south of us through Pennsylvania and Maryland. So this is the time of year and the conditions that we can get Mississippi kites. And there's other species that are possible, like swallow-tailed kite and Swainson's hawk. But Mississippi kite is sort of that rarity that we're really targeting this time of year. So the bottom line is I think tomorrow will still be a good day for raptors. The only way it could turn into a dud is if there's too much rain and too gloomy. But like I said, hopefully even if that's the case, the southerly winds will still be enough to get the birds moving. And overall, it should just be a big day for bird migration in general, just with southerly winds overnight and then the whole day. So it wouldn't surprise me if we get a couple oddball things. Who knows what those could be. A lot of shorebirds are on the move this time of year, especially if it's kind of a gloomy, rainy day. You can get stuff dropping out of the sky. So, we should get some neat birds tomorrow in any case, and hopefully it'll be a pretty huge raptor flight as well. For Saturday, we're looking at mostly cloudy in the morning and then scattered thunderstorms, high in the upper 70s, winds southwest shifting northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So this is looking like it could be another decent day, especially in the morning when there's a bit of sunshine and the winds are out of the southwest. Once the winds shift more northwest in the afternoon, that could shut things down a little bit. But overall, I wouldn't be surprised to have a decent morning on Saturday. And for Sunday, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds with scattered thunderstorms, high in the mid to upper 70s, winds west-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So that looks like another great day, especially if there's some sunshine. So I would expect good migration on Sunday, but we'll see how that forecast changes as we get closer. But in any case, the next 3 days all look like pretty good days to come out to the Hawk Watch and, like I said, help us find a Mississippi kite. That'd be a good one to get on the season list. And there should just be a lot of birds migrating in general on these favorable southerly winds. So let's find some rarities this weekend and come have a good time. All right, that's it for today because I need to get to bed so I can be out bright and early tomorrow to find some good birds. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any of these daily updates from the Braddock Bay Hawk Watch. This is David Brown. Thanks for watching.
Hmm.